So, Steam users in the UK, and if you're American, don't be a dumbass. Remember, everything that's been happening in the UK is slowly being drip fed to us. Anyways, in the UK, users who want to access mature game content must now register a credit card on their accounts to prove they're old enough. And listen, the UK's Online Safety Act, it's dumb. It's retarded. It's not at all about keeping kids safe online, and it shouldn't even exist. But I think Steam's approach to complying with this piece of shit legislation over pulling out of the UK and taking a massive hit to their customer base, and, shitting all over millions of UK gamers that didn't ask for this bullshit is better than what Ofcom would rather see go down. Steam clearly hates this as much as we do, and I look at this less as bending the knee like every other YouTuber's going to pitch to you, and more like the lesser of two evils. So what exactly is Steam doing? In the UK, those who want to access mature content games or related community hubs are required to have a valid credit card associated with their account. This new requirement was implemented to ensure Valve's compliance with the country's Online Safety Act, which mandates age checks in order to gain access to adult-oriented online content. Registering a credit card is the only way to access adult content on Steam from within the UK. It's presumably more foolproof than a selfie system that proved susceptible to Death Stranding's photo mode. Don't forget Gary's mod. But Valve said, in going this route, preserves the maximum degree of user privacy. If we look at what Steam has to say about this, in the UK, Ofcom, the independent regulator for online safety of comms guidance, in the OSA states that one highly effective age assurance measure is credit card checks. This is because in the UK, an individual must be at least 18 years of age to obtain a credit card. Therefore, credit card issuers are obliged to verify the age of an applicant before providing them with a credit card. Having the credit card payment method acts as an additional deterrent against circumventing age verification by sharing a single Steam user account among multiple persons. In other words, Steam is trying to dodge having to scan your face or submit your driver's license. We all know what this big push for online safety is about. It's about controlling us and destroying anonymity on the internet, and Steam's basically on our side with this. When I first heard these headlines, I had a knee-jerk reaction similar to what anybody else would have. Valve are pieces of shit for this. I've already been building my game library over on Good Old Games, and I'm never gonna support them again. Perfectly normal knee-jerk reaction. But unlike YouTube and the plethora of other online platforms more than willing to stomp all over your rights, Steam is trying to tiptoe around this. Among all age assurance mechanisms reviewed by Valve, this process preserves the maximum degree of user privacy. The data process in the verification process is identical to that of the millions of other Steam users who make purchases or store their payment details for convenience. The verification process therefore provides no information about a user's content preferences to payment providers or other third parties. Valve handles the verification process using its own internal payment processing system, which is independently certified under the whatever the hell this is standard. Do I like this? No. Do I want this? Fuck no. But do I understand the reasons for this? And if Steam ever wanted me to submit my driver's license or scan my biometrics in some dystopian fashion, I'd rather see my entire game library go up in flames before I let that shit happen. So yeah, I understand it. So this makes it to where Valve doesn't have to do any actual age checks, since you have to be 18 years of age to obtain a credit card in the UK. Because pretty much everyone, including myself, already use our Steam accounts in this way. It has almost zero effect. And from what I hear, the quote-unquote mature content has to do with adult-only games. And surprise, surprise, people are still looking up skirts by skirting around this with VPNs anyway. So fuck off, Keir Starmer, and you too, Australia, trying to send your crusty ass hags after us. Your bullshit surveillance tactics don't work against people with average IQs. Also, I wanted to read this too because I wasn't expecting an article by PC Gamer to be this based. It reads, so basically, if you want to play a game that lets you walk into a crowded airport with an M249 and air out a couple hundred people, maybe set off a few bombs or whatever, that's cool, but if you want to look at some cartoon titty, well, I'm afraid that's over the line, because sure, why not? It also reads that some folks on Reddit say Steam will accept debit cards for age verification, which is good for anyone without a credit card. While minors in the UK can have debit cards, other Redditors say it won't do them any good as far as getting around Steam's age gate because cards issued to minors are on a different account type. So that's interesting. So I guess you truly have to be an adult to access My Little Futanari Sex Goblin 2000 on Steam. My real concern is when Microsoft, which already started rolling out their age verification requirements, makes this mandatory for Xbox owners in the UK next year. We're talking about a company whose only existence is for stealing your information and reporting it to the government. This is the shit I'm concerned about. By the way, the petition calling for the repeal of the Online Safety Act now stands at more than 530,000 signatures. But the government has said in its formal response that it has no plans to repeal the Online Safety Act and is working closely with Ofcom to implement the act as quickly and and as effectively as possible to enable UK users to benefit from its protections. In other words, they're trying to make this happen as quickly as possible before any potential lawsuits from 4chan, Kiwi Farms for example, before they send their asses back through the gates of oblivion. They know that what they're doing is extremely encroaching on basic human rights, and they want to make sure it's permanent so that no one can argue against it. So we can all live inside of our pods and eat our government-issued bug meat once they're done connecting the grids for their 15-minute concentration cities and taking care of our population problem, for lack of better algorithm-safe words. Oops, did I say that? What I meant to say was, keep the kids safe. We gotta protect the children. Anyways, that's it for me. I thought I'd shed some light on this whole Steam age verification issue because I know a lot of people are probably reading headlines and having meltdowns about it. So they can just say, Steam has bent the knee once again, fully going over to the dark side. That's my Darth Vader breathing. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I think Steam is stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And they're picking the lesser of two evils. But yeah, that's it for me. Later.